All right, so I'm going to respect everyone's time and we're going to go ahead and get started. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my slide deck. Should be able to unmute and come on camera if you'd like. So hopefully you guys can see my slides.
I can see it.
Perfect. Let me adjust my audio. All right. So my name is Leticia Velasquez. I'm an instructional designer with the Center for Teaching Excellence. Thank you for joining us for Spark Week. This is D2L Advanced. In this session, we are going to cover intelligent agents, awards, and Creator Plus, looking at both the templates and the layouts and practices. Very quickly, we're going to go over the creation, how to do a practice run, and how to turn off intelligent agents. We're also going to look at the different types of awards we have in D2L, how to create them, how to add the release conditions, and some customization that you can do. And then, like I said, for Creator Plus, we're going to look at the templates, where to find them, and what your different options are and how to customize them. Same thing with layouts, how to find them and how to customize them. So, get out of my calendar. So this is a course shell, just like anything else. And then to start off with intelligent agents are a tool in D2L to help you automate your interactions with your students to make things easier for you as an instructor. So intelligent agents are located in your course admin. You'll come to course admin and hold on a second, I'm gonna give people their microphones. You'll scroll down and then you'll go to communication and then intelligent agents. Currently, I don't have any agents created, but you can create different categories if you want to keep things organized. But to create an agent, you're just going to go to new agent. You'll give your agent a name. So let's say I'm going to call this one late work. You can put a description if you want. Sometimes that's helpful if you're setting up like reminders that are on a time frame. So maybe like week 3, week 6, week 9. Putting a description will help you keep that organized. You can add it to a category. You can create a category at this time if that's something you want to do. This status is important. Unless the box is checked, the intelligent agent is kind of like in draft mode. So it's not going to do anything until you check that box. So I typically keep it unchecked until I run my practice run. Next, for scheduling, you can decide how frequent you want it. It can be a one-time run. I like doing that if it's just like a one-time announcement that you're sending to people. I wouldn't recommend hourly or really daily. Most common is going to be weekly if you're doing it for attendance or missing assignments, but you may also have monthly just depending on what you're trying to set up. So for this example, I will do a one-time run. You can pick the day. So we'll just keep it with today, but we'll go a little bit later. So we'll say 4. Then you're going to go to criteria. Typically, I like selecting the role, and I'm going to select my students. If you don't select a specific role, your TAs could end up getting it, or if you're co-teaching, you may actually have an instructor that triggers the requirements. So I make sure it's geared towards my students. And then you have options. If you're looking at activity, like my student hasn't logged in the last 7 days, you can go ahead and select those and add the dates. Course activity, they haven't, and this login activity is actually the system level. So that's something to keep in mind. Course activity is specific to your course. So they haven't accessed my course in 5 days. Most common though, you're going to use a release condition. So you can scroll through here and it can be like, mine is late work. So there is no submission to folder. And then it's going to give me an assignment and I'm going to say they haven't submitted to assignment 1. So then you'll come into your actions. And should this be taken the first time or should it be taken every time? So that's going to depend on how you're setting it up. Since I've set it up for 1 assignment, I'm only going to have it do it once, because once the due date for the assignment passes, unless you have a really like lenient late work policy, it's pretty much done. They didn't turn in the assignment. If it's something like weekly attendance, then you could do every time. Just going to kind of depend on what you want. This little which action to take is actually really helpful. We don't want to change their enrollment. We want to send an email. Here's where you're going to set up your email. I love the little links they have. So what special email addresses can I use? And it's going to come up. You're going to copy this little initiating user. And you're going to copy it from little squiggly parenthesis to squiggly parenthesis. I don't know what the official name of that is, so that's what we're going with. But that's what you're going to pick, those little squiggly brackets. You can BCC yourself. I've done that when I want to keep track of who's getting them. And you can add yourself by using the little address book. And then so I have people who are in the class, and then I have non-people in my address book who I can go and add those people to. So you can add people to your address book if you'd like. The subject, it would be late work, assignment 1. And then replace strings are actually the best part of intelligent agents, because this is what personalizes it. You have a ton of options, most of which you're probably actually not going to use. Like this org unit stuff, I don't see why a regular instructor would use that. I know I don't use it. But this initiating first name. So again, squiggly bracket to squiggly bracket. I can come in here and I can be like, hello, initiating user. And then I can type whatever I want. You're not doing your stuff. You can also, if it's an absence thing, you can list the last date they accessed the course. So you haven't accessed the course since, and then it'll put in the date for you, which is really nice. Once you finish your email, if you have something you need to attach, like a PDF or a rubric, you can attach that. And then you're just going to save and close. So like I said, right now it's in draft mode, and that's what the little X means, that it is not enabled. But I can do a practice run, which I highly recommend for all of your intelligent agents, because that way you can test it to make sure that it comes through properly. You will get an email letting you know that it comes through once it's done. And then once you make sure everything's okay, then you can go ahead and enable it if you want. You also have the option of running it right now. So if you don't really want to put a frequency date, you just want to do it right now, you can do that too. And then obviously you can delete as well. Let me see if this is done. So 0 users identified. That's because I don't have any students in this class, which is fine. So it doesn't show anybody being in here. If you did have people, let me show you a different course real fast. Because we have some intelligent agents that we run all the time. And I have a lot of courses, so please excuse all my courses. It'll look like this. So here it identified 6 users. Here it's got no users. This one runs daily, so I have it run at 1 p.m. That one hasn't ran since May. it'll let you know, and then you can click on it and it'll actually list the users, which I'm not going to do here since this is an actual course that I'm running. But that's how you work it. You can enable it just by going to edit and then coming back and clicking the box. And then the little button will go away. And then it'll tell you the last time it ran and when is it expected to run again. So, any questions or concerns about intelligent agents? They're really, really helpful. And those replace strings, D2L has a whole list of them if you just search for it in their community. You can use those in your announcements too, and that really personalizes the course for students. Did you have a question, Priscilla?
Yes.
What's up?
When you were putting in like the responses for students, once you figure out which ones you want to contact through the intelligent agent, I saw recording along with the other attachments. Can you like record a little
Mm-hmm.
email? Okay, that's
Yes, you
really
can.
cool.
Yep, you can do just audio or video and audio,
And I
and then
want to
that'll
plug,
attach it.
and I really want to plug the intelligent agents, even though I know what they are and how they look like. It feels really good to see my name when I'm getting contacted from my professor.
Mm-hmm. I think I have, hold on, because again, hold on, I don't want to get that one. Let me pull up my email real fast because I actually have where I accidentally sent myself one because I enrolled myself as a student in one of my classes. But I don't know if I deleted it. I might have, but I thought it was funny that I sent myself one. Yeah, I think I deleted it. But they're nice little emails and it will put your name and everything. Wonder if it'll come up. I'll do a quick search on that and see if I can pull it up. But that's intelligent agents. Oh yeah, I found it. Hold on, let me make this bigger and I'll drag it over so you guys can see it. So here it is. It called me Professor Velasquez because I did last name instead of first name. And then it'll go ahead. Here's the link that I set up. And it just gives them a reminder of what you're doing. But it's a nice personalization for your students. All right, so let me get out of this. And does anybody else have any questions about intelligent agents? Abby is monitoring the chat for us, and so is Ashley. So if you guys have questions, they can answer those for you probably before me. Let's see. Next, we have awards. So D2L offers two types of awards. They are badges and certificates. So this course doesn't have any set up currently, which is fine. To do that, we're going to go to add award to course. Oh, I actually have a whole bunch that I can choose from. So these are ones that I've shared with myself. When you're an instructor and you create them, there's a button which I'll show you, and you can share that across different platforms, like across your different courses. So I am going to go to hold on, there's all the buttons. Want to create the award. Add award to course. Want to build one. Why is my option to build one? Oh, I know why it's not playing nice with me. Hold on, everybody. I'm sorry. I am not a professor in this course. So it doesn't want to let me build awards because I shouldn't be able to go into random courses and build awards when I'm not the professor. So let me go ahead and I'll add myself in here real fast. And then we'll get an award created. The awards are nice when you need to gamify your course, or if you want to create like some incentives or a little bit of competition before your students. Awards can help with that. Okay. So now that I am a instructor, it'll give me the option to build the awards. Okay, let me share again. Okay. Now this part's important too that you need to pay attention to. I think D2L actually has a badge repository that they own. So your students could share that with that repository. You can also share them to like LinkedIn or make them public. I never feel like my awards are fancy enough to be shared on LinkedIn, especially since there's like credentialing and stuff that goes with that. So I uncheck all those boxes because I don't think it needs to be there. So then I can go to create, which again, I'll pull this up. So I decided what I want. I went to add and then create. Here I can name it whatever I want. We'll just call this badge 1. You do have to give a description. I'm going to be lazy and do whatever. And then this is the criteria part. What did your students have to do in order to earn this? So they had to, let's see, pass quiz 1, 2, whatever, I don't care, with 95 or better, right? So we're awarding those students. It is going to be a badge. This is that availability where I can make it go across all of my different courses, or you can make it only available to certain courses. So you can restrict it down. That's kind of up to you. If it's a universal kind of badge and like all my courses have a quiz too, then I can do that. If it's something very specific, like it is a certificate for passing the SIU ID or IT annual training that we have to do, then I want it to be very restricted. And so it's going to depend on what you want. Whether or not it expires is up to you. Most of the time, never is fine. This is all stuff I don't ever mess with because it has to do with the expiration date. And then you get to choose your award. You can choose from their existing library, and they're kind of like basic and a little boring. I like doing show more because then those get like slightly fancier. Not a whole bunch, but some of these are a little bit fancier. And if I'm doing an award, I want a fancy award. But you can also select your own icon. So that is some of my badges on the previous screen would have a custom icon, and I can show you those too. The issuer's name, this is the part where you'll want to be careful. If you're issuing a badge that you're going to put on LinkedIn, like you'll want to change this from the university, because is it university sanctioned to be on LinkedIn? I don't know the rules about that, but I'm sure there are rules. So double check this, and you can change it to your name. And then we will save and close. So now I've got a badge in here. And then you have to go to edit properties, otherwise your badge isn't going to do anything. Here's the credits that I was talking about, like, what they did, and that would drop down. So I wouldn't worry about that. You can hide the award from students until they've earned it. Sometimes it's nice for them to see what's available, so then they know what they need to work towards. But you have to create a release condition. So since I've put mine with the quiz, I'm going to go down to quizzes. And then I'm going to go to score on a quiz. I'm going to pick my quiz. And then you've got your greater than or equal signs. and then you'll pick the one you want. So I said it's going to be greater than. So it should be big one. Yeah, I think it's this one. I forget. And then 95. 95 or greater. And then you go ahead and save it. Yeah. And then when your students get that grade, it'll go ahead and release the badge to them. And then when they have their badges, it's actually really cool for them to go ahead and they get an email when they earn it. And then it pops up and there's like confetti and everything, and it's really fun for them. And then they can view it. You can also create certificates. It's pretty much the same process. So you're going to create, you'll do the same thing. So this I'll just put cert. Same description, whatever the criteria is, that's all the same. The difference is instead of badge, you're going to switch it to certificate. You still have the same decisions about availability and expiration date, but this time you'll choose a template. They have some from a library, but these ones I've actually never used before. If you click on them, you can get like a sample like view of what they look like. You can create your own. So we'll give that some time to. But if you create your own, you have to be mindful of where you're putting your little boxes, because these boxes need codes in them. It's not hard to do, and D2L has a really nice resource for that. It's again more little curly brackets. See, like this one says award name, and then this one is the description. Here is the course, and then the username and stuff. So D2L has a really good handout in their community on how to put in the curly brackets. And there's a ton of videos on YouTube that actually can walk you through it. That's how I learned how to do it. So once you do that, you can upload, because if I'm going to do one, I want it to be pretty, and you upload your own one. Again, you'll want to adjust the issuer name and stuff. I would put my name, or the Center for Teaching Excellence if it's a course that we're putting together. And then once you get it all saved, it's going to make me pick one of these. I get all the buttons. Oh, I still need to pick an icon because it wants both of them, but there's some in here for certificate. There we go, certificate icon. It wants both, and now I can save and close. And again, it won't work if I don't have any conditions. So I have to go in and decide what they do to earn, this award. And you can even make it contingent on, winning the other or getting awarded the other badges. You can do that too. Like you got badge 1, so then you get the certificate. That can be your release condition too, which is actually really nice if you have a set of like maybe modules. They have to get 1, 2, 3, and once they get 3, they get the certificate for completing the whole course, depending on what you're setting up. So once you get those set up, those badges are in your course. You do have the option as the professor to actually automatically manually issue those. Like that is an option. You do want to give evidence because we like paper trails. But you can award that to your student automatically. And then based upon the triggers, he actually should get the other one in just a little bit. But sometimes that takes a little bit. And if you messed up, you can revoke that from your students, but they'll get that notification too that it's been revoked. So use it wisely if you're doing it automatically. Like I said, you can have custom. Let's see. I don't think it'll show it anymore because now I'm impersonating. But you can have custom badges and awards. I made a bunch for our accessibility training. And I designed all the little icons for those, so those are fun. But I don't know if they'll show anymore since we created some. Oh, look, he got a certificate. Just took a little bit, but now he has both. And then they can click on it. You can generate the certificate to see how it actually all played out. It's got the date. It's got all my funky awards, and it's got his name at the top. This is why I do it myself, because it would look way prettier. All right, any questions or concerns about certificates and awards? All right, we're gonna move on to my favorite thing now, Creator Plus. I love Creator Plus. Creator Plus is a new add-on that the university got to D2L in July. It's a content authoring tool to help make it easier for professors to create their content in a very organized, interactive, and like it's just a lot nicer, and it's real easy. You don't have to copy in codes like we used to have to. So the first thing you're going to do is obviously you're going to name your content page. And then you're going to browse for template. All of the templates are public, so public files. And then you scroll all the way to the bottom until you get to C+. We have 4 templates that you can use, and you honestly don't have to use any of them. I just really like starting with the template. If you click on the blue links, it will give you a preview of what that template looks like. So that way you can decide which one works best for you. I typically use the basic, but there are other options. This module introduction is really good if you're putting learning outcomes. So for this, I'm just going to go ahead and select basic because I can like tear it apart real easy. And then once you have your basic template, you're going to just swap out the information for whatever you want. And it's very, very easy. You just delete it. The fun part, though, is when you get into these. These are either layouts or they are practices. So this is a layout. And to add layouts, you literally just come up to the plus. So Creator Plus, plus sign, and you go down to layouts. And this lets you pick, do I want a 2-panel? Do I want a 3-panel? And you can decide what paneling works best for you and your content. You can also add elements. You can add accordions. It lets you add, let's see, click and reveals are fun. So actually, let me hop into an entirely different course, but that's how you put them in. I'll show you in the other course though, because I have another course set up that has all of these layouts already set up. It is this one. So these are the layouts you can choose. Like I said, you can do the 2 panels, which are nice for side by side. And the nice thing about Creator Plus is because it was designed like this, it scales really well. So if I make it skinnier, it's going to move those. So if your students are looking at them on the phone or whatever, like they're going to move appropriately. 2/3 panel is really nice too if you want to put an image, or this one put a video and then a little summary of maybe what the video is about. 3, it doesn't go beyond 3, but smaller chunks of information. Then we have elements that can be added. We've got accordions. You can do them numbered or they can be unnumbered. You can have tabs. I really like tabs. Tabs are fun. timelines. I use timelines for a lot of things. Obviously, you can use them as like a traditional timeline, which is shown here. But you can also edit your timeline, and I like using them for like faculty introductions, or if I'm doing like important dates in the class, you can list those too. There are call outs, which are just like big pronounced, make sure you read me kind of things. Click and reveals are fun. Your students can test their knowledge about something. You can ask them like a question and they can see if they're right or not. I love the flip cards, which the other thing that's really fun about Creator Plus is D2L was very focused on making sure that it's all accessible. So even the flip cards are going to meet accessibility standards. So that's like my extra favorite part of it. Cells where you can add information and images. Hotspots are fun. So your students can, you know, quiz themselves or learn more about images. And then the last thing you can add into one of these templates and layouts are practices. They're ungraded knowledge checks. So this one takes a little bit to load, but you've got the water molecule. They can use the drop down and they can see whether or not they're correct, and it'll let them try again. And because it's not graded, it's low stakes, and it just allows the students to practice. You have options for multi-selects. They go water, and they can select everything and see if they're right or not. Additionally, they can do sorting, which is helpful if you're in like a cause and effect or one of the sciences to be able to sort. There's this a different sorting. Same idea though. This one doesn't have pictures though, and you can stack multiple. True falses. Is Quidditch a sport? Absolutely. So those are the different practices that you can insert into your course. Let's see. So now I'll go back and I'll show you how to put it in this one. Got like 10 minutes left. It should be enough time. So we'll create new pages. Like I said, I always start with a template. You don't have to, but it just works for me. And then I can delete whatever part of this I don't want. And I'll start by adding a layout, 2 panels. And then the fun thing is it lets you be like, oh, you know what? I don't like the 2 panels. Maybe I want like 2/3 and a third. No, that doesn't look right. Let me try again. No, let's try this. Oh, yep, that's the one I want. And it lets you change them right here, which is really fun. Or you can just go ahead and delete it outright. So using the 2 panels, you can do text, obviously. I can type in whatever I want. I can also add images. Let me pull this. Let's see if I can upload image. Come here, paper. Images. You always need to add alternative text or you need to mark it as decorative. Decorative means that if I deleted it from your course, it wouldn't matter. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's just there to make things pretty. But if it has some sort of meaning to your course, then you need alt text. So you've added your layout. Like I said, I could edit it if I need to. Even now I can. If I decide my puppy needs more space, if I decide he needs to be in the middle of some text, I can still edit it at this point. And then I'm going down. Now I've added that. I need a timeline so I can insert an element. I can go to my timeline, and then you have options with your timeline. It can be alternating or it can be left aligned. I like left aligned when I'm doing like a list and I just want that list to be stylized. You can add additional panels. I can delete those panels, whatever I need to make my timeline look good. My favorite part is to let you preview it. So if I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, no, this is just boring and I don't like it, then I can go back and then I can try alternating it. But that, and I'd be like, man, which one do I like better? And then I'll change however I want. And then say I mistyped something because I wasn't paying attention to my spelling. I can come back in here and edit it. Really easy. And it'll let me preview it again and then insert it. And then finally, I feel like my students need a quiz because who doesn't need to know about a Slooky puppy? So then I'm going to do a true false. You can give it a title if you want. You don't really have to. And then you add your question, whatever you want. You have to select if it's true or false. And then that's what it'll look like on the student side for your preview. And then you can insert it. Close preview, insert. Gotta hit the little X in the corner to close it. And now I have a true false. Now, it never shows the question here, which I don't really love, but you can't win everything, especially if you put multiples. So you may have to come in and edit them if you need to make sure which one's which. Sometimes from the professor's standpoint, things look really like janky, but once you save it, it looks fine. So say I want to delete this one, I can delete that one and get rid of it. And now when here, like I said, it looks real weird, the true false isn't there, and I'm like, oh no, I broke it. When I save and close it, it'll look fine for students. It always looks funky on this one, so don't worry about that. So there's my Salukey puppy, my timeline, and then my true false. It renders fine just for students. It just looks weird on your side. Any questions? Oh, let's see. There are questions. There cannot be any badges for the low stakes practice. Because they are just practice, they are not monitored by D2L at all at this time. They really don't want to monitor them is the feeling I've gotten from all the events that I've attended, because they want it to be like low stakes, just knowledge checks for students. Color, shift the color. I don't believe so. So some of them are like this teal color. I believe any changes to those have to be made at the org level. Abby may know better than I do since I'm not an admin, but I don't believe those colors can be changed.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's something we can do or want to do.
Because it gets messy. Now, where you can change the colors is if you're doing a hotspot. It lets you edit those colors. So that's something that you do have control over. Like the standard banner stuff, we don't really have control over. But I do know that the hotspot lets you, because I've done it in that one before. hotspot. It doesn't matter because this is just testing it anyways. So you got this, and then you can go ahead and add your hotspots. And then these hotspots can then have the colors changed to whatever you want and different symbols that you want. So those ones can be edited a little bit. The other thing to be mindful of is this down here is again accessibility. My background is white, so these light pastel colors are not going to meet accessibility requirements. And that's something that you can check when you change your font color too. You can test it to see if it meets accessibility contrast. So that's something very important to keep in mind too. And then it's going to make you do like the accessibility part 2, which is right here. I have to give each hotspot its own micro alt tag. And then it'll let me insert him. And again, it looks real like weird here, but when I save it and close, it'll show the little heart. And then if I had information, it would list it there, but I didn't fill it out. Can you use Creator Plus in quizzes? Good question. You can definitely use it in announcements. But oops, not grade. I don't think you can use it in quizzes.
I don't think you can either.
I don't think so, but we're gonna try short answer, because short answer would probably be one of the places you could use it. Anywhere you can get this little bar. So no, it is not available in quizzes. Because that would be actually, the hotspot could be helpful for that. And that may be something that D2L does in the future. Because they're always, innovating what they do. Wonder if you can use it in discussions.
Hey, Priscilla, if you're coming to the Ask Me Anything, that would be a good question to ask Jackie, even if the answer is no. She might be able to take that back to them.
Yep, it doesn't work in discussions either. And that's more than likely because it is a content creation tool. And quizzes and discussions are not content. They are assessments. So they're classified different. Any other questions or concerns about Creator Plus, intelligent agents, awards, anything else really? If not, I think we're at time.
Spending
How would you
ways
use
to know.
awards?
Okay.
Yeah. Oops, wrong button. Should be able to, let's see if it has the big thing is whether or not it's going to have a release condition that goes to discussions. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, so we're going to check. I think it does. Yeah, discussions. If they author a post, if they get a score on a rubric, these two are, like, this is associated standard similar to rubric, but the no post you wouldn't give an award for, obviously. That's for an intelligent agent reminder. So if they author a post, they can get an award. Or if you have a rubric attached, then based on their score, they could get an award there too for a discussion. Sometimes I like to use, let's see, where is it? Surveys. So if you're having your students do like regular feedback on your course and you're using surveys or quizzes, you can have those trigger and they can get awards for participating in that feedback. Let's see. So any other questions or concerns? Best way to manage assessing, grading, discussion post, original. So whenever you grade, so honestly, probably the best way to manage it is actually going to be using a rubric. So the question is best way to manage assessing / grading discussion post original versus responses. When your students make a response, I think I still have some in here. Let's see. I might have deleted them. No, I still have some. Okay. So when you come in here to grade, you're gonna see your students' original responses and you're gonna see whatever replies they've made. So like here's their original post and then here's their replies. So honestly, in my opinion, the best way would be to use a rubric, not necessarily this one, but you can create a rubric that has different sections. And in those sections, like section 1 could be for their original post, and then section 2 can be for whatever replies. But it does break them apart. So like this one, I give them a score out of 25 for their original, and then they get a score for the replies. It can be broken down like that. So like if this reply is absolute like nonsense, they could get a 0 for that reply, get points for this reply, and then get points for their original post. But my recommendation for that would then, like I said, be a rubric. Any other questions or concerns? Let's see, I think someone's typing. No, so these score boxes are because I put in a rubric. So some of the other discussions I have that don't have rubrics wouldn't have. Let's see, I don't think this one has a rubric. When do y'all post? Oh yeah, so see, they just have the regular where I can put in the score. I've deleted a lot of my stuff since I've been cleaning up, so I don't have as many examples as I used to have. But that one's specific because of the rubric and because of how I set it up in the discussion to where I could grade separately. All right. For those of you who are done and you want to finish your day since it's already 4 o'clock, thank you for coming. I appreciate you, and I will answer any remaining questions. So, thank you everyone for coming. Let's see. We're trying to move to response. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Cindy, can you unmute? I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording too.